Welcome, everybody, to the Live Louder podcast. I'm your co host, Scott Jones, with
Melody.
Scott and Melodie. We're here to bring you a little show. We are coming to you from the Sober Life Studios right in Davie, Florida, but we're reaching you anywhere you want to be. And this is kind of our pilot, our little test. What are we going to be dealing with, Melodie? I mean, I guess in a nutshell, we want to bring joy.
We want to make people happy. I want to see people happy. I want to help you find your happy place.
Find your happy place. Find out what makes you happy. You know, honestly, we were doing some stuff before we started recording here. We actually thought we were recording for a moment, but we weren't. But we were doing some stuff, and we both kind of figured that the biggest challenge people have in their lives, we're going to tell you all about us, but the biggest challenge people have is they don't even know what makes them happy.
No.
They don't even know about themselves and their limits of what they can do, or let's say their limitless nature of all the things they can do. How do we make people connect with that?
So the first thing you got to do is wake up. I mean, you have to wake up, and you have to really sit there and look inside yourself and find out what it is that truly is the bottleneck in your life. That bottleneck is you, but there's ways to help yourself unsuffer so quickly. So stick with me for a second. So when my life is going sideways,
you're going on a journey. Pay attention.
Really quick. It's a very quick journey.
No, it's fine.
If you ever want to help yourself get unstuck really quick, I promise you this works. When my life gets sideways, I know that I've gotten out of the practice of a couple of different techniques, but my go-to is meditation. And you don't have to be a yogi. You don't have to listen to all these different techniques. You just need 5 minutes of quiet. You can lay in bed. It could be right when you get up in the morning, and 5 minutes of time before you go to sleep at night. At night is super important. It's got to be the last thing that you do before you go to sleep. What you put in your mind, what you listen to at night, is what you're going to dream about and what you're going to think about when you wake up. So it's really important. Just 5 minutes of quiet time. You can even do a guided meditation if you want on YouTube. Sometimes that's good. You just look up the YouTube meditation. And it does help you get more centered. You get into this consistent practice, it will help you get more centered, and ultimately you can make yourself unsuffer once you realize that it's you that's got to change your perception of things. The things that you think that you really want, you want the money, you want the car, of course you want to pay the bills, all those things, but what you're truly looking for is that elusive feeling of happiness. And the happiness is an emotion, it's a sense of freedom, of all your worries dissipating. Right? All you
exactly.
Through different conduits. Music, we talked about. Music is a great conduit for
I know so many people who think they've achieved and they're happy, but they're not. Because they measure themselves by the car they drive, or by the house they have, or by the position or title of their job. There's nothing wrong with wanting those things. But if you are not connecting with your inner self, and I don't want to go into this whole inner child bullshit.
No.
I'm talking about the stuff that makes you feel good about you.
Lights you up inside.
I love that. Lights you up.
Lights you up.
The stuff that lights you up. And for me, it's music, it's art, it's cooking.
Oh,
I love cooking.
And I love listening to people who love talking about cooking. It gets me so excited. I will even go to the grocery store and buy the things, and I'll get home and be like, I don't really feel like making this now. Never. But I love to listen to people who are passionate.
You're not like passionate about cooking?
No, I'm passionate about consuming.
Because I got a great new soup recipe. I haven't made it before, but it's a tom kha soup, and it's a coconut-based Thai soup with shrimp. And
it sounds good.
I'm working on the recipe right now.
And cooking is a therapy. It's an art form. Just like if you're listening right now and you can't see the audio, I'm sitting in this beautiful studio, Sober Life Studios, and Scott has so many beautiful creations on his wall that he has hand painted. His mom has a beautiful landscape that's in front, and it's just gorgeous. Sandy did a landscape of a bridge with water. It's just really tranquil. And so I'm thinking, when we were talking, is that all these different outlets that we have for art are expressions of life that's going on inside of our life, our worlds that are going on inside of our head. Yes. We've all got these worlds inside of our head that are constantly spinning around, things that we want to do. And the reason why people feel so stuck. They know they should be doing it.
Oh, here's the biggest culprit. I hate this. Bucket lists. A bucket list is the dumbest thing you should do. What you should do is make a list of what am I going to do today?
Before 100.
What am I doing today?
Live before 100.
Oh, everybody's like, oh, I'm going to skydive when I'm 90. Well, I guarantee you're going to have more fun doing it in your 40s than you are in your 90s. Because
there is something that right now as you're listening to this, and we talked about this, what you forget what you know. You have to remember what you know, and it's going to click inside your head. You know that you need to start something right now. You know it. You don't need anybody else to tell you what you're doing wrong. It's something that you know inside you. Like right now, he was saying that music really helps him a lot, and I can say myself, music helps me a lot. But what I find very, very helpful to me is learning from other people and connecting with people like this gives me such an energy, because it's really ways to really actually elevate your mindset as well. Because Scott's been through some things in his life. He's got so many great things around him. I'm like living in a world of creation right now. I'm just surrounded by it. So I can't help but get excited about that. But it's these flow states, that's the feeling that you're really seeking. That's what you're really missing. You say you want money, you want all these things. You can have all those things, but you've got to do something. You've got to do something. You know what you need to do. You just got to get started. And one thing that I know is that the only way to really do that is by getting out there and with action and meeting people.
Meeting people, learning things.
Mm-hmm.
Don't. The only way out of your stuckness. I don't even know if that's a word. But
it is. I like to say unsuffer.
Unsuffer, get unstuck.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Do the unstuck.
You've got to look around you. You've got to look around. You've got to look at other people. You got to look at, but then you got to bring that back to you and say,
Mm-hmm.
no, what part of that did I feel good about? What
Mm-hmm.
part did I like? And then go do it. We were talking, before, and it's hard because we've been going. We met yesterday.
Yes.
Let me tell you this.
Oh my
this
goodness.
is the amazing part. I have committed, and so has she, in less than a 24-hour period within meeting ourselves, that we are going to dedicate ourselves to this podcast, to this show, that we're going to be doing a lot of work together. Because when you meet somebody where you make a connection, and friendship is the most important thing you could share with anybody in this world.
Mm-hmm.
When you make that connection, don't ignore those things.
That's right.
How many people walk away saying, oh, Bob was so cool. And then they never talk to Bob again. What are you missing out on?
Yeah.
If somebody lights you, you lit me up and I lit you up, and we worked ourselves into a creative frenzy.
Yeah.
But people leave those things on the side of the road all the time.
Yeah, I know. And and that's sad, because I don't hold back. I'm not I love hard, and I see so many gifts within people. I can't help myself. And by the way, my master's degree is human resource management. And I bring that up because it is important to know, because in human resources, you have to understand how to read people, motivational interviewing skills, all that. And it's all related to what we're talking about now. I promise you, mental health, mindset, psychology. And I see gifts in people every single day. And that's how you and I even start talking. And I can't help but get other people to start their YouTube channel, their book. I have so many gifted friends. It would blow your mind. And now they're all getting started. And they're like, they tell me, Melodie, if you had not told me to start, and now they're sending me their drafts or their books. If you hadn't told me to start my YouTube channel. I mean, I keep losing all my microphones, because every time I buy one, I end up giving it to somebody to get them started.
I know. I think I gave away 6 guitars in the last 4 months.
Yeah, really?
But it's
that's a nice gift.
It's what you do. It's what you do. If I can afford to, I'm not going to give away my first guitar, which I still own. My guitar from when I was 14 years old. My first guitar.
I had a Fender Bullet.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's electric.
I played, but I don't remember.
Okay.
Not anymore. Yeah, it was electric.
Yeah,
You're acoustic.
I'm acoustic. I love acoustic. I have 12 strings and 6 strings.
Nice.
And I even started painting some guitars and doing custom guitar work and stuff.
Jeez, you're just awesome.
It's not about see.
He's like a polymath, and he's not even being real.
Let me explain something. I spent most of my life trying to be something for everyone around me. Mm-hmm. And what it created was a bitter, angry, violent, not nice person. And it created I was not a good father to my children for many, many years because I felt put upon, and I was resentful, and I fell into the bottle, and I fell into pills, and I did all of these things, and I put my children through hell. And my wife, God rest her soul, she lost her battle with fentanyl 4.5 years ago. Even we were separated for quite a bit, but we were still married. She never found her way back from falling down that rabbit hole with me. And the truth is that all of the discoveries I've made have been in my late 40s and early 50s.
Have they really?
Well, no. I made discoveries, but I did not see the significance of those discoveries until I was able to look back, not with shame, guilt, and fear, but to look back with gratitude, to look back with acceptance, and to look back with purpose. Everything I went through happened for a reason. I could either let that reason have no meaning in my life, or I can make that mean everything in my life, which I've decided to do. I spent many years saying, I'm going to do this and never doing anything. Never doing anything. Yes, I was on TV and radio. Yes, I did some of that stuff. But I was never really doing the stuff that was screaming inside of me. It was always like, I would love to paint, but I don't think I can. Or I would love to sing in front of people, but I don't think I can. It was horrible.
What was your last defining moment where you were like, I'm making this change, where you felt like this is the shift that I need to make? And what direction did you pursue? Was it that you decided to, reinvent or start your art career again? Is it that you decided to go into some other career avenue? Or did you decide to just be you for a little while and then figure it out?
I think that obviously the first thing I had to do was to stop drinking and using drugs. And, I wasn't like using a ton of drugs, but I had a real serious alcohol problem. And then I'd have to take pills because you can't drink until 4 a.m. and then go on the radio at 5:30 and be any good. Hey, WSNJ, that's not coming out of your mouth when you're still drunk.
Oh my goodness.
So I'd have to take pills to cut me up. But I broke away from that, and I went through a lot of things. I spent time in jail, and I did this and did that. But I broke away. I got arrested at DWI right down the street from my house. I was like 5 blocks from my house. And they pulled me over. And when they opened the door, because they're going to do a sobriety test, and I fell out of the car onto the street. And I just knew this is not going well. They drove past my house to take me to the police station. I'm sitting in the back of the car, and I saw the shadows of my children in the window. Because the windows were right there in the living room in the front of the house, and I stopped at the stop sign. I'm in the back of the police car. I look over and I see these shadows, and in that one moment, I realized this is all gone. Everything is gone. You can't even pretend to be a good person anymore because you've lost everything. And that's when I stopped drinking. Now, I still was trying to control everything and make myself. Instead of being a good dad, I was trying to pretend to be a good dad. Instead of being a good husband, I was trying to put on I was playing a role. When I was a child, I was on stage. I was in Tom Sawyer. I was in Bye Bye Birdie. I was in Jesus Christ Superstar. I was on stage as a child. I never stopped acting from that point. I acted through my mom's addiction and the issues we went through. I acted through the abuse. I acted through my marriage. I acted through the divorces. I was always acting. And even in my early sobriety, the first 10 or 12 years, I was spending a lot of time acting. And it wasn't until about 8 years ago that I started to realize this isn't how I want to live anymore. And I started to look inside myself. I don't want to get all sappy. We're supposed to make you happy. But there comes a time when you look in the mirror and you say, I can blame nobody else but me for my situation. I can blame nobody else for my unhappiness but me.
So with that being said, so the driving force in this is shame. And it's the shame that we actually put on ourselves. Because listen, if you are going to listen to somebody else's opinion and allow that to affect you, you are giving them permission. Okay. It is up to you to decide how you're going to live your life. And if you can sleep with yourself at night, you know what you need to do, right?
Absolutely, Melody. You're so right. But here's the worst part. Listening to someone else's opinion is easier to fix than listening to your own
Of
self-deprecating
course,
voice.
yes.
Your self-talk. If you have
Mhm.
negative self-talk, if you are constantly arguing for your limitations, you're always
Mhm.
going to have them.
hmm
You know,
That's
and
right.
that's what we need to be
But
launched out of.
how disempowering is it though? How disempowering is it to feel like a victim? How disempowering is it? And it's, oh my goodness, it's so easy to get into that cycle. Like you blame other people for your
Have you
addiction.
been at that point in your life where you felt like I'm a victim of
Everybody,
life and everything sucks?
I think everybody has, but it's not a fun place to be.
No.
And I view myself so much different, but it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work. I think because we exist as humans and we go through life and we're just proud of however age we've made it on this earth, which is truly a gift. I'm 57 years old as of last week. I am so happy to be alive. Every day is a gift.
I'm going to say right now, because this is our first show and I'm going to get it out of the way, I am so pissed off that she's 57 and looks so good.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my God.
Back
I
at
was going to
you.
guess 37.
Oh, you're sweet. But
I got cataracts. No,
so,
I'm kidding.
But you know, it's like everybody does go through these challenges in life, and we all have that internal dialogue that we need to shut off.
And forgive me, isn't it harder for women too sometimes because there's a little bit more put upon you to
think-
have to behave a certain way?
I think it's really equally bad for both, honestly.
Okay.
I
All
do. I do. We all have suffering in our lives. It's how we perceive it, what we're going through. We have maybe different sets of things going on at different points in our lives. But you're going to have challenge. Stuff is going to happen in life. It's how you regulate your emotions. When it comes down to it, this is the best thing you can do for yourself. How you respond, how you regulate your emotions. I am so proud of myself. I commute so much for work. It's ridiculous. When I first started my job, I was commuting like an hour and a half for work. I said, I'm going to be productive. I am going to listen to a real estate course, and I'm going to get my real estate license while I'm doing this, instead of listening to podcasts and music, which I would have rather be doing, right?
Right.
So I spent the first 2 months of my full-time job of doing that, and I got my real estate license. Nobody can take that away from me. It's something else that I have. I love business. I love learning. Just more stuff to be able to apply if, everything goes sideways.
You fascinate me. You come in here and you're in my business partner Karen's office. It's next door. That's all Zen. If you're watching the video here, this is not Zen. This is rock and roll. She's all Zen in there. If I go in there and stand for too long, I fall asleep. But you went in her office and you immediately said, I want to learn this. I want to learn that. I want to know more. And then you came in here. You're like, I want to do more. I want to learn more. What is it that creates that drive?
It's the juice. It's the zest of life. Oh, my goodness. It's so fun. Don't you like my son loves math. He's an anomaly. I can't even have a conversation with him. It's like talking to Elon Musk. It's like really scary. And I'm serious. He's super smart. I don't even know where he got it. My dad's like super smart in all different ways, but my son, he's off the charts. But it's that flow. Like when he talks about math, now he's on the spectrum, but when he's talking about math, you think he's talking about having his first baby. I mean, it's like that. When you talk about music, I can feel it from you. You're like, I love it. And this is what, like, my guitar and my art and like.
Well, you did the same thing. I mentioned concerts and you bolted right up. I'll go to any concert, anytime, anywhere. Even like when I traveled with my kids, we would just stop in the middle. They'd be buskers. I'm like, I love people who are busking and playing in the middle of the streets. And, my God, performers, street performers. I just love it all. I just love music. It's a universal language. You don't even need to know the language, just the music, and you feel like you can get into a flow. What does it do for you personally? Does it make you, I mean, if I took music away from you, what would you lose?
Oh my goodness. A life without music is...
I can't imagine.
Music is a universal language. It's just universal. You don't need to know any words. You just listen and you all walk away with that feeling. One of the reasons why I tried out one of the churches down here, they had a friggin' kick butt rock and roll band. They're incredible. I mean, I'm sorry, but it was a great experience and you feel connected, alive. We're all in that experience together. You know
what? Your son will be happy. All music is based on mathematics.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a connection there. I mean, when he starts talking plus and minus, you could say Beatles and Aerosmith.
Woo!
All right, there we go.
Yes.
That's what I.
Yes.
So we're going to be talking about this show. I thought we were going to just talk about our whole life stories, but let's just ease that in throughout our shows. Really, what's important now is why is this show important to you to do this right now?
Help people unsuffer, get happy, find their personal power, their inner gifts. Everybody has a gift inside of them, and if you're feeling unstuck and you feel like you're in a crossroads and you're feeling that negative dialogue, I think that between Scott and I, we have plenty of lived life experience, and we want to make it fun and fluffy because, you can listen to all these other people out there, but we are real, authentic people, and we have really valuable life experience. And, life is supposed to be fun. We are put on this planet to have fun, right?
Absolutely. You're supposed to have fun and spread joy.
Yes. Should not keep that inside. You got to give it.
There's too many things out there right now, and we're not going to talk politics. We're not going to get into religion. Maybe a few spiritual things, and maybe a thought on something that's going on in current events. But we're not going to get into all of that. I just hate to see so many people turning and looking for someone else to blame.
Mm-hmm.
Just stop.
Yeah.
Just stop. We don't need to sit and blame everybody else. The only thing that you need in your life to make a change in your life is your decision and your thoughts and your ability to decide what I want to do.
You just got to be kind to your mind.
Kind to your mind. That's a T-shirt for us.
It is so true, though.
That is going to be a T-shirt.
But it's so true.
It is. It is.
We are our worst critics. It's the worst. And the thing that might give somebody a sense of relief, and I know it sounds really bad and harsh, but it helped me get a good centered grounding. People are very into themselves. They're really not paying that much of attention to you. So if you really think like everybody's going to be talking about me and everybody's da-da-da-da-da, just do it. I don't care what it is. Yeah. If it makes you happy, do it.
In common vernacular, that means nobody gives a shit. So just be what you're going to be.
Yes.
You're not.
Life's
you're
short.
Not that important.
And life is short.
The only person you're important to is you. And if you're not, here's the thing: you could go out and do everything for everybody. You could be this and you could be that. But if you're not happy with yourself, it's all hollow.
And everybody says this, but it's so true. But I do things for people because it sounds selfish. I love to see people happy. I love to see people light up inside. I love to see people's gifts shine. I love to see people feel good about what they're doing.
Christmas morning, would you rather give or receive a gift?
Always give. Always.
90% of people will say that. Mm-hmm. There's some people that are like honest.
True. It's true.
They still kept that little kid alive saying, I want a present.
Yeah.
But really, most of us, it's like we want to see the joy.
Yes.
And
human beings are generally nice.
And it's not, that joy doesn't have to be from giving of a present. It doesn't have to be on Christmas. That joy could be when you're passing somebody in the street saying, how are you? Mm-hmm. Hi. When you're standing in the market in the Piggly Wiggly or wherever the hell you have shop, and you got somebody checking out your food and you're going through the line on your phone texting and don't even look up or give them the courtesy of saying hello, is you've lost an opportunity to make the planet better.
Right.
To do something kind
and you
for
never
somebody.
Know. You may have saved that person from doing something not reversible. You may have said something or even just been there and listened to them, and you just changed their whole life. You changed their whole perspective. You just changed the whole dynamic of what could have been, in their mind, a catastrophe, and just kind of leveled it up and said, hey.
Melody, I mean, can you remember, has there ever been a time when somebody just paid you a compliment or something out of the blue, somebody did something nice and it stayed with you for a very long time?
Oh my gosh, there's like way too many.
Yeah.
There's way too many.
Whereas the one person who walks by you and says, screw you,
so
you forget them in a day. In a day.
So when I was raising my sons and my nephews, 4 boys around the same age, all of the under the age of 8, I took them everywhere because I was that person.
You were raising 4 boys?
I was that person.
You're this positive?
And I love, oh my God, I love the boy energy. And so I would take them everywhere. And this is so funny. So we go to Publix, we go to the gas station. I have to bring them in everywhere. I don't leave them in the car, right?
Yeah.
So we go in a place and my nephew would say, you're famous. They would always think I was famous. And finally it dawned on me because he wasn't able to articulate what he meant. He thought I was famous because I talked to everybody. the gas person, the attendant, the Publix shopping cashier. I talk to everybody. Like, I want to, like, hello, I love your earrings.
It caused so much problem in my first marriage that I talked to everybody.
Oh,
And I said, that's who I am.
yeah.
And I actually started shutting down from that.
Mhm.
And that one felt so.
But this is you,
inauthentic.
and this is what's
me.
made you
This is who I
successful.
Could you imagine you and I being out in a crowd somewhere, and you know what's going to happen? Everybody's going to say, I want to be happy like them.
Yes.
I want to do what they do. We all have that in us.
Mhm.
This is the thing. You're sitting here listening. You're saying, oh, that's all well and fine, but I got this medical problem.
Yes.
I got this legal
I
problem.
can't
I got
do
this
that
business
because
problem. I don't have any money. Guess what? It costs pennies to get art supplies to paint. It's next to nothing. You don't even have to pay for music lessons anymore.
No.
You can go on YouTube. You can get a Harvard education on YouTube and not spend a dime.
I know, and I
Harvard
I
education.
should not be saying this because my mom and dad will watch this. But yeah, I'm sorry. Nowadays you can get all of your information on YouTube.
You finished school. You made them happy. You don't have to hide it anymore. Mom, Dad, it was a waste of money. No, it wasn't a waste.
But
And
and
the world is
challenging
different
yourself.
now, though.
It is, and so going
You
back,
got your real estate license driving the car.
and now
Hello?
I'm learning AI. Like, I love it, and I'm not paying for it because they have all these courses. I'm like, no, I'm learning all the AI.
I learned AI too. The movie with Haley Joel Osment was so good. AI. Oh, I'm sorry. You actually learning AI. Okay.
Are we gonna
Not the
go
movie.
down the
It's
rabbit
not a
hole
movie.
with the movie one?
We're gonna,
Don't get me started. The Matrix. I know.
but look at this. It's all about it. I don't want anybody to think that we walk around all day, Susie Sunshine, singing to buses. We don't do that because they lock you up for that shit. They
Mhm.
do. But generally, my base is happy.
Hmm. We
And I
all.
created that.
That's all of our bases. Is
But
true
we cover
nature.
it under so much stuff. I mean, Melody, when you're a little kid shows up with a red truck.
Mhm.
He's your best friend. You
Mhm.
play with the kid with the red truck. And even if he hits you in the face with the truck and you cry for a minute, you come back, you're still best
Yeah.
friends with this. You never asked him how much money he made. You never asked him where he came from. You never asked him his political views. You didn't ask what his parents did for a living. All you cared about was you had another kid, you're in a sandbox, you got a red truck, and life is good.
Hmm.
We lost that.
I know.
And that's where I spend my life trying to get back to. Is that point where I could just look at things and find the joy and the peace and the happiness in things.
And you brought out a childhood memory of mine. So growing up in Vermont, so one thing that I always loved doing was sticking up for the underdog. And that included the boys of my class, because we had some boys that were from farms that were a couple years older that was stuck in a sixth grade class with us
Right.
and wouldn't take showers sometimes and come to school. And I thought it was terrible that kids would ostracize them and pick on them for things that they couldn't control. They couldn't control the fact that they had to work on a farm before school. And so I would pull my desk right next to him and sit next to him because, people thought I was popular or something. I'd go sit next to him, and so that's that. I want people to be happy, and I don't want people to feel ashamed. And I think when you can be that light to somebody else, anytime somebody was bullied, I'd go sit next to that person. I was not going to have any of that nonsense. I was going to be that lifeline for that person. So that's what made me think about a little bit more about what is the driving force of me. It's to make sure people feel connected and seen.
See, I think we found your superpower.
Yeah.
That is your superpower. You make people feel good.
Yeah.
And just walking into our offices here, and again, now knowing you for just over 24 hours,
Mhm.
just over,
Yeah.
you've already made an impact.
Oh.
And it's your energy, and that's the kind of energy. That's why I'm like, well, if I could do a show with this girl, I'm happy. This is all I want.
Oh.
But and I have different ways of doing things, but to have that, to want to do that so badly, and that's what we're going to be doing on this show.
Okay.
I want to let everybody know we're going to have fun.
Yes.
We're going to be live. Like I said, we're going to find our time. We're going to find our BAT channel and our BAT station and get all that right. We're going to have our website you'll be able to go to. We're going to have all that stuff, and maybe even some. Hey, you're going to have to get some Live Louder T-shirts. You're going to have to have some of those out there.
Yes.
But our job is to bring joy and to find the joy, and for you to share your joys with us. And if you're struggling, let us know that too. Maybe there's something that we've gone through where we can help.
That's right.
Or at least point you in the right direction. The bottom line is whatever you got to say it out loud. Stop sitting in a corner. Stop whispering the hateful things to yourself.
That's right.
and stand up and just be you.
Be kind to your mind
Be kind to your mind. That's a
and
t-shirt
others.
right there.
And others. Be kind to your mind and others.
And just don't buy any definition that anybody puts on you except you. Then nobody else can do that. Nobody can define who you are or what you feel or what you think or how you love. That's got to be you. You're the only one who can define your life. So stop defining it. It's always like people wrote a book and then they read the book and they say, I don't like this book.
Mm-hmm.
But you wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
You're writing your book. You're writing. If you don't like the last
That's
chapter,
right.
start a new chapter.
Trust the author.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Trust the author. Isn't it so cool? You can just go, I am going to trust the author and I'm going to write my own chapter. And you just start your life right now. The past is past. You can't see the past. Show me where the past is. Where is it?
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't exist.
Exactly.
Rewrite your story.
The lessons, you carry the lessons with you.
That's
or
it.
you carry the shame with you, but that's your choice.
That's right.
You can either learn from it. Listen, if I did something that's awful and terrible, and I have done those things,
Mm-hmm.
of course I regret that they happened. But if I sit there and be shameful and guilty about it, I'm not moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to take that and say, okay, the only way that this is going to work in my life, this past event,
Mm-hmm.
is if I learn a lesson and never repeat it. And that's what you do.
That's
You move
right.
on.
Yes.
And when you're writing new chapters, nobody ever reads a chapter in a book. And well, I mean, yes, some people will if they don't like the book itself. But most people, they don't read a chapter, then say, I'm going to go back and reread that chapter because I don't like it. I'm going to reread it again because I don't like it.
Right.
If you don't like it, you move on. You move to the next chapter.
Right.
You put the book down. You start something new.
Right.
I stop being powerless.
Right.
There's no such thing as being powerless. Anybody that tells you you are powerless over anything, I'm going to ask you to fight back on that because you have the power to change your perception, your actions, and your reactions.
Don't agree to that. Don't accept it. Don't agree to it. Don't accept it. Don't agree to it. Remember, you're valuable. You're a treasure. You're a gift. You have gifts. Don't ever let anybody tell you anything different. And if they do, it's just demonstrating to you how yucky they feel inside about themselves. I mean, honestly, this is true. It's like what we're saying is not anything. We're just remembering and we're reminding you.
And we're happy about it.
Yes.
We're happy about it. We're not lecturing you because we want something relief from you. We're sharing this because it brings so much joy to each of us in our own lives.
Mm-hmm.
So when we connect, it is like this hurricane of happiness. And we just want to let it out, let people know.
Peace
if you're
of mind.
stuck, though, reach out to us. Reach out to us. Leave a message. Okay? We'll have our website. We'll have an email set up so you guys can reach out to us. If you're struggling and you don't want to share it in the comments, that's all fine. You'll be able to reach us. We're going to have avenues for people to reach us, and we can help you find help, too. Whether it's you're dealing with maybe addiction issues, mental health issues, trauma.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much trauma these days. All of that. But you're talking to two people who went most of their lives being responsible for others, being married to others, doing all this stuff. And now,
and you know what's
in our 50s, we're sitting here saying being single and treating ourselves well is the greatest gift we could have.
And this is it, folks, because if you're watching right now, it's like a sign. Because I believe in Kismet. I believe in fate. There's no mistakes in life. If you're watching this right now, you're going, I wish. Don't wish, just do.
Just do.
This can be you. And if you need help getting started, reach out to one of us, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you'll be able to go to, and hopefully when this show comes out, I'll have it up, but livelouderpodcast.com, and you'll be able to leave a message for us or get our emails and reach out. We'll make sure our personal stuff is there. So you can reach. Listen, it's no secret that one of the greatest ways to keep your joy is by sharing it with others.
That's right.
And that's what we're trying to do here. We're going to do shows about music, the greatest bands that we've ever seen. Oh my gosh,
can't wait. Some cool movies.
How about we'll give you an example right now.
Yes.
The one artist you never saw that you wish to God you could have seen.
Red Hot Chili Peppers. Wait,
well,
are you saying living?
Possible.
Okay, so
somebody who's not possible anymore. Because you can still see the Red Hot Chili Peppers. They're kind of like the Red Mile.
I'm looking at Jimi Hendrix, man. All along the Watchtower, I would have loved to see that. It's my favorite.
I got a friend of mine. His name is Artie Goldfart. I think Gold something. It'll come to me. He was actually the one who set up Woodstock.
Mm.
Him and Michael were the two guys, and in the Woodstock movie, he's the one standing there on camera saying, "This is beautiful, man."
Oh, that's so awesome.
And he lives in Boca.
What?
He lives in Boca, and we could have him come in and he could tell us stories about.
I would love that.
about
Yes, please.
Sharing a urinal with John Lennon.
That's awesome. Can we please?
I know. He said it was something
Let's plan that soon.
That's when he wrote that song, "Let It Pee." But we've got. All right. So who would it be? Somebody who you never got to see that you wish you.
Besides Jimi Hendrix? Oh my gosh.
Oh, okay, Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, but
oh you.
Gosh, there's just like
for me.
I've seen so many.
For me, it's Prince.
Really?
I wish I'd seen Prince. I did not know how talented he was.
Yeah, he's super talented. He had such a large library of work that was never even released.
And it went through all genres.
Mm-hmm.
Some of his stuff was so much closer to rock, and some of it was so much closer to soul, and some of it was just brilliant guy. Again, addiction and all these addiction issues that we see, the 27 Club, all the people that died, these are issues.
Yes, 27 Club.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see Kurt Cobain for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
I would have loved to see him.
I would have demanded he put a new sweater on, but I would have seen him. That thing had the smell. He never took it off.
Yeah.
He never took it off. And Courtney Love was all over it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about music. We're going to talk about movies. We're going to talk about TV shows. Fun stuff.
Stuff we
that lights
love.
you up. What we will not talk about is stuff that's going to bring you down. Well,
No.
if you are down, this is the way you get up. You join us at Live Louder Podcast. I screwed that up. Live Louder Podcast, and Melody and I are going to, well, it's perfect that your name is Melody because we're going to bring music to people's hearts.
Yay.
So,
Well, I'm happy to be here. If you're watching at home or you're listening, remember, be kind to your mind. Take care of yourself.
take care of yourself. And if you see somebody else who has a problem, get help for them. Sitting back and watching somebody suffer is not the right way to do anything. If you see somebody with a problem, maybe they're going to get mad at you for making a call, but I hope they stay mad at you for a good long life instead of having their life cut short because nobody said anything. Get yourself help, help your friends, help your family, and subscribe to this channel. Like our show and add your comments.
Yay.
We want to know what you're
We
thinking.
want to hear from you.
But thank you all for joining us. Live Louder Podcast. Go to livelouderpodcast.com. For Melody, I'm Scott. Guys,
Bye,
thank you
friends.
so much.
Take care.
Remember, every day, do 2 nice things for yourself, 1 nice thing for somebody else, and you'll never go wrong. Bye-bye.
Bye.